Hey everyone, welcome back to Wanderlust Revealed. Get ready, today we are going on an adventure. We're about to uncover some of the most incredible, jaw-dropping, absolutely stunning hidden gems right here in the good old USA. Places you've probably never heard of that aren't swarming with tourists, but are just as beautiful, if not more so, than the big-name spots. Forget the Grand Canyon for a second, put a pin in Yellowstone, because we are going off the beaten path, and trust me, you're going to want to see this. We've got a massive list for you today. A full countdown of 25 secret destinations that will blow your mind. We're going to start our journey at number 25 and work our way down to the number 1 most unbelievable hidden gem. And these aren't just, oh, that's a nice little park. No. All right, kicking off our countdown at number 25, we are heading to the coast, the beautiful California coast. We're in Big Sur, which is already famous, right? But tucked away is a site that feels like it's pulled straight out of a fantasy movie. This is McWay Falls. Now get this, it's an 80-foot tall waterfall that cascades directly onto a pristine, untouched beach. I mean, come on, it's one of only 2 waterfalls in California that does this. The water, this beautiful ribbon of white, just tumbles down the cliffside right into the turquoise Pacific Ocean. Coming in at number 24, we're leaving the Pacific and heading to the Great Lakes region, specifically the shores of Lake Superior in Michigan. This is Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore, and the name says it all. We're talking about miles and miles of towering sandstone cliffs that have been naturally painted with streaks of red, orange, blue, green from the minerals seeping through the rock. Okay, for number 23, we're taking a little detour from natural wonders and diving into some mind-blowing history in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Now, I know what you're thinking. A museum? Really? But trust me, this place is fascinating. This place tells the complete story of the atomic age, starting with the Manhattan Project and stretching to today's peaceful uses of nuclear technology. But the best part is outside in the Heritage Park, a huge 9-acre outdoor exhibit. Actual decommissioned aircraft built to carry nuclear weapons. Let's get a little spooky for number 22. We're heading down south to the border of Texas and Louisiana to a place called Caddo Lake. This isn't your average lake with boats and water skiers. No, this is a sprawling 25,000-acre maze of waterways. The first thing you'll notice are the trees. Ancient, towering bald cypress reach up from the water. Some of them are hundreds of years old. All right, at number 21, we're trading the swampy south for the rolling hills and charming culture of western Massachusetts. Welcome to the Berkshires. This isn't a single spot. It's an entire region packed with scenic beauty and world-class arts. New England's best-kept secret. Culture is king here. Tanglewood. Picnic on the lawn to the Boston Symphony. Jacob's Pillow, the Clark Art Institute. For number 20, we're heading back out west to Utah. But we're skipping the big national parks for a minute. This is Cedar Breaks National Monument. It's this massive natural amphitheater that's over 3 miles wide and more than 2,000 feet deep. It was carved out of the Markagunt Plateau. Spires, columns, and arches, red, orange, and purple. Over 10,000 feet in elevation, the air is crisp and cool. It's also home to some of the oldest living things on Earth, the bristlecone pines. At number 19, we're staying out west, heading south to Nevada. Let me tell you, this place is on fire, literally. This is Valley of Fire State Park, Nevada's oldest and largest state park. About an hour from Las Vegas, but it feels like you've landed on Mars. The park gets its name from massive formations of vibrant red Aztec sandstone. They look like they're literally ablaze when the sun hits them. You can drive through the park, but the real magic happens when you get out and hike. Trails lead to slot canyons, arch rock, the beehives, and ancient petroglyphs. Okay, let's go from the driest desert to the rugged coast of Maine for number 18. We're talking about Mount Desert Island, which is home to the spectacular Acadia National Park. This is where the mountains literally meet the sea. You can be hiking up a granite peak like Cadillac Mountain and have these sweeping views of the Atlantic Ocean. Cadillac Mountain is actually the highest point on the North Atlantic seaboard, and it's one of the first places in the U.S. to see the sunrise. The park is also famous for its historic carriage roads, which are perfect for biking, and the dramatic, rocky coastline with spots like Thunderhole. All right, for number 17, let's warm up a bit and head down to Florida for an experience that is truly, truly special. We're going to Crystal River, known as the manatee capital of the world. This isn't a theme park. This isn't an aquarium. This is the wild. Every winter, hundreds and hundreds of West Indian manatees migrate from the colder waters of the Gulf of Mexico into the constant 72-degree warmth of the springs here. And the best part? You can actually get in the water with them. You can snorkel or swim alongside these massive, gentle, slow-moving creatures. They're like giant, underwater teddy bears. Coming in at number 16, we're going back to California, but this time we're not going to the coast or the mountains. We're going to Denmark? Well, kinda. This is the town of Solvang in the Santa Ynez Valley, founded over a century ago by Danish immigrants who wanted to create a little piece of their homeland in the New World. You drive in and suddenly you're surrounded by traditional Danish-style architecture, windmills, thatched roofs, timber-framed buildings. You can stroll through the streets, pop into Danish bakeries for pastries like æbleskiver, check out shops selling cuckoo clocks and wooden shoes. On top of all the Danish charm, Solvang is also in the heart of Santa Barbara's wine country, so there are tons of tasting rooms. For number 15, we're heading up to the Pacific Northwest, to a place that I think is one of the most underrated state parks in the country. This is Silver Falls State Park in Oregon. It's all about the waterfalls, not just one or two. Trail of 10 Falls, a 7.2-mile loop through a lush green temperate rainforest. On that hike, you see 10 incredible waterfalls. The trail takes you behind 4 of them. Back to Utah for number 14. You might be thinking, another Utah park? Yes, because they're amazing. But this one, Capitol Reef National Park, is often overlooked. This park is defined by a nearly 100-mile-long wrinkle in the Earth's crust called the Water Pocket Fold. It's a massive, warped monocline of rock layers. The park is long and narrow, filled with towering cliffs, massive white Navajo sandstone domes that resemble the U.S. Capitol, and deep, narrow canyons. The historic Fruita District, a pioneer settlement in the middle of the park. They still maintain the orchards, and in the fall, you can actually pick your own apples, pears, peaches for a small fee. Okay, let's take a break from rocks and canyons for number 13 and look at something a little softer. We're going to Washington State to the Skagit Valley. For most of the year, it's a quiet agricultural area, but for a few weeks every spring, usually in April, this valley absolutely explodes into a riot of color. It's like a little piece of Holland was dropped into the Pacific Northwest. Imagine, as far as the eye can see, perfect geometric fields of tulips in every color imaginable. Bright reds, sunny yellows, deep purples, brilliant pinks. It is an overwhelming, breathtaking sea of flowers set against the backdrop of the Cascade Mountains. At number 12, we're heading to the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York, to a place that feels like it belongs in Lord of the Rings. This is Watkins Glen State Park. The centerpiece of this park is a gorge that, over thousands of years, Glen Creek has carved right through the rock. Within a 2-mile stretch, the creek descends 400 feet, creating, get this, 19 distinct waterfalls. 19 in 2 miles. You walk the Gorge Trail, which winds you up through the canyon. Sometimes the path is carved directly into the cliffside, sometimes you're going over stone bridges, sometimes you're walking under waterfalls. We're breaking into the top 10 soon. But first at number 11, we're back in Oregon, in a completely different part of the state. This isn't the lush green Oregon you might be thinking of. This is the high desert of eastern Oregon. It's home to one of the most surreal landscapes in America, the Painted Hills. It looks like an artist just went wild with a giant paintbrush. These hills are layers of volcanic ash and soil laid down over millions of years. Different minerals in those layers create distinct bands of color. Deep reds, bright golds, earthy blacks, shades of lavender. The colors change with moisture and time of day. The view is never the same twice. Kicking off our top 10 at number 10, the Ozark Mountains of northwest Arkansas. This is Eureka Springs, built into the side of a mountain, no intersecting streets. Just winding, looping roads up and down the hillsides. Downtown is on the National Register of Historic Places. Beautifully preserved Victorian-era buildings, art galleries, quirky shops, great restaurants. Founded as a spa town because of dozens of natural cold springs, you can still see many springs dotted around town. For number 9, we're returning to Michigan, but this time we're on the shores of Lake Michigan. This is Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore. And when I say dunes, I don't mean little hills of sand. I mean massive, sweeping bluffs of sand that tower up to 450 feet above the bright blue water of the lake. One of the most popular things to do is the dune climb, where you can try to run up and down these giant sand mountains. It's an incredible workout. There's the Pierce-Stocking Scenic Drive, a 7.4-mile loop that takes you to some of the most spectacular overlooks in the park, including one that looks straight down that 450-foot drop. Coming in at number 8, we're going to Wyoming for a geological feature that is so strange and so dramatic, it looks like it was dropped there by aliens. In fact, it was in a famous alien movie, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. This is Devil's Tower. It's this colossal, monolithic igneous rock that juts straight up out of the rolling prairie. It rises 867 feet from its base, and its sides are made of these incredible hexagonal columns of rock. It's a sacred site for many Native American tribes. You can see prayer cloths tied to trees. A trail circles the base. It's a really peaceful 1.3-mile walk. You can appreciate the sheer size and unique texture from all angles. You'll often see rock climbers attempting to scale its vertical faces, which looks absolutely insane. At number 7, we're back in New York, but this time in the western part of the state. If you thought Watkins Glen was impressive, get ready for Letchworth State Park. This place is known as the Grand Canyon of the East. The Genesee River has carved a massive gorge through the land, with cliffs that rise up to 600 feet. The park is about 17 miles long, and it's filled with lush forests. But the main attractions are the 3 major waterfalls on the river: Upper Falls, Middle Falls, Lower Falls. The Middle Falls is the most spectacular, a huge, powerful 107-foot-tall cataract framed by the cliffs of the gorge. In the fall, the foliage is just off the charts, making the whole canyon glow with color. It's a truly grand and majestic park. All right, we're getting close. At number 6 is a place so fragile, so unique, and so sought after that you literally have to win a lottery to see it. This is the Wave in the Coyote Buttes North area on the Arizona-Utah border. This is a sandstone rock formation that, over millions of years, has been eroded by wind and by water into these unbelievable undulating forms. It looks like a giant petrified wave of liquid rock, with swirling, flowing lines of red, orange, yellow. It is one of the most photographed and most famous landscapes in the American Southwest, but very few people get to see it in person. To protect its delicate nature, the Bureau of Land Management only issues a handful of permits per day through a highly competitive online and in-person lottery system. If you are lucky enough to win a permit, you have to hike an unmarked 3-mile trail through the desert to find it. But the reward is access to one of the most surreal and beautiful places on the entire planet. Kicking off our top 5, we're heading to Austin, Texas for number 5. And it's another cultural gem that is totally worth the trip. This is the Blanton Museum of Art at the University of Texas at Austin. This is not some small regional museum. It is one of the foremost university art museums in the country, with a massive collection of over 21,000 works. The collection is incredibly diverse, so there's something for everyone. You can see old master paintings from the Renaissance, Baroque, and then walk into the next gallery and be surrounded by cutting-edge modern and contemporary American and Latin American art. But the absolute showstopper, the thing that makes this a true destination, is a building called Austin by the artist Ellsworth Kelly. It's this 2,715 square foot stone building with beautiful colored glass windows that he designed as a space for joy and contemplation. Walking inside and seeing the light filter through those windows is a truly moving, almost spiritual experience. For number 4, we're going to a place of stunning beauty and, honestly, incredible faith back in Arizona. This is the Chapel of the Holy Cross in Sedona. Sedona is famous for majestic red rock formations and its spiritual energy, but this chapel takes it to a whole other level. It's a Roman Catholic chapel completed in 1956, but it looks like it's from the future. It's an architectural wonder literally built into the red rocks. The chapel rises 250 feet from the ground, nestled between 2 massive rock formations. The main feature, a giant 90-foot-tall cross on the front and huge panes of glass that give a breathtaking interior view. You can't help but feel a sense of awe and peace here. Modern, angular architecture contrasts with the ancient, organic forms of the red rocks. We are in the top 3, and at number 3, we have what might be the most underrated national park in the entire system. This is Great Basin National Park. We're back in Nevada, but far from the desert heat. This park is an island of mountains surrounded by a sea of desert. It has everything. Drive from the sagebrush basin floor, up to over 10,000 feet. Alpine lakes with Wheeler Peak rising behind them. Ancient bristlecone pines, twisted and gnarled. Hike toward the summit of Wheeler Peak. A glacier. Yes, a glacier in Nevada. And then you can go underground and tour the Lehman Caves, stalactites, stalagmites, and rare shield formations. And at night, because it's so remote, it's an international dark sky park, offering some of the most spectacular stargazing you will ever see. Our runner-up, the number 2 hidden gem in the USA, is a place of raw, untouched, wild beauty on the coast of Georgia. This is Cumberland Island National Seashore, Georgia's largest and southernmost barrier island, almost completely undeveloped. To get there, you have to take a ferry. There are no paved roads on the island. It's a place where nature is still in charge. The beaches are pristine, wide and deserted, covered in shells. The interior of the island is covered in a maritime forest, incredible ancient live oak trees draped in Spanish moss, creating these magical shaded canopies. But the most famous residents of the island are the wild horses. You can see herds of them grazing in the marshes or even galloping along the beach. It is an absolutely incredible sight. The island is also home to the hauntingly beautiful ruins of Dungeness, a mansion built by the Carnegie family that burned down in the 1950s. The ruins now stand open to the sky, a beautiful testament to a bygone era. And here we are, the moment you've been waiting for, the number 1 secret destination in the USA. For this, we're heading to the far northern coast of Wisconsin, to a place of incredible beauty and adventure in the mighty Lake Superior. And finally, number 1, the Apostle Islands in Wisconsin. This is a collection of 21 islands and 12 miles of mainland coastline, a national lakeshore that is a paradise for adventurers. It's known for its stunning red sandstone sea caves. In the summer, you can kayak into and under these incredible caves and arches that have been carved by the waves of the lake. The water is crystal clear, and paddling through this natural architecture is an experience like no other. In the winter, if the conditions are right, the lake freezes and you can walk across the ice to the caves, which become these magical ice palaces, covered in frozen waterfalls and giant icicles. The islands are also home to the largest collection of historic lighthouses in the national park system, beautiful old-growth forests, and sandy beaches. It's rugged, it's remote, it's stunningly beautiful, and it offers endless opportunities for adventure, making the Apostle Islands our number 1 hidden gem in America. And that's a wrap. Wow, Apostle Islands, Cumberland Island, Great Basin, from the coast of California to the shores of Lake Superior, what an incredible journey. 25 places that prove you don't have to travel across the world to find adventure and beauty. It is right here, in our own backyard, just waiting to be discovered. I honestly had a hard time ranking these, and I know there are so many more amazing spots out there. These are just a few of my favorites that I wanted to share with you all. I really hope this got you excited and inspired you to maybe skip the typical vacation spots and try something new for your next trip. Now, I want to hear from you. This is the best part. I know you've got some secrets up your sleeve. Head down to the comments section and let me know about your favorite hidden gem in the USA. Is there a state park, a quirky town, or a secret viewpoint that you think everyone should know about? Share it with the community. I love reading your suggestions and adding them to my own must-see list. Let's build the ultimate travel guide together right here in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching and for coming along on this countdown with me. If you had fun and want more travel inspiration, more hidden gems, and more adventures, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss a thing. We had a blast exploring America's secrets today, but for our next video, we're grabbing our passports and heading international. You won't want to miss it. Thanks again, everyone. We'll see you on the next adventure.